Hi, I'm Christy Schroeder, IBM Z Skills Offering Manager. Today, I'd like to walk you through all of the programs and offerings that IBM has to help clients find, attract, train, and retain new mainframe talent. Let's first take a look at the current environment. Today, across all industries, not just the mainframe industry, we're seeing that 10,000 baby boomers are retiring every single day. In addition to that, we're also seeing that the number of students that are graduating with computer science degrees or technical degrees is only around 46,000. So if you add that all of these people are retiring and we're not producing a lot of additional technical talent coming out of those schools and universities across all industries, especially technical industries, we're seeing a huge demand for talent. In the mainframe industry alone, we're looking with projections in the 2020 timeframe of 84,000 open mainframe positions. That's why I end up hearing a lot from our clients on how can we help them with finding this talent. It truly is driving a lot of conversations that we're having around driving the technical need for skills. To address that, first and foremost, you have got to develop a strategy for how you're going to find this talent. What type of talent are you going to look for? Are you looking for college hires? Are you going to look for experienced hires? Are you looking to maybe take in an apprentice who has no background or expertise in computer science but does have a willingness to learn? Are you looking for contractors? All of these things need to be considered when you assess your skills needs. So first and foremost, you've got to develop a strategy for finding that talent. IBM is here to help you when you're looking for those college hires because we have a program called our IBM Z Academic Initiative Program, where we work with schools and universities to help them with curriculum around the mainframe. We are happy to introduce our clients to the faculty associated with our IBM Z Academic Initiative schools. Build up that relationship, and that rapport is going to be so critical for you as a client to establish a rapport with these schools. You can do that by going in, guest lecture. I have never met a professor who hasn't welcomed somebody from the industry coming in and talking to their students about the type of work you do, the work that's being done on your platform, types of careers, career paths, opportunities that exist. They love having industry folks come in and talk to their classes. Again, we can help to establish that relationship and that connection to get you into the classroom. You might also want to consider becoming an adjunct professor. What better way to find talent than to actually be the person sitting in the classroom and seeing who's the top in the class? You have the pick of the crop when you're there and tell them about the types of opportunities, the types of careers, and offer them jobs and opportunities. You are there seeing the people. Go in and teach. Additionally, you could go and sponsor events. You could sponsor a hackathon. We offer Master the Mainframe, which is a contest that I'll talk about in a little bit. We can help you to sponsor one of those events in the schools. Again, what a fabulous opportunity that you'll be able to actually go into the school. You'll see the kids who are performing really well as part of the event, as part of a contest, and then you could go and talk to those students about the career opportunities that exist for your company. If you're not already doing so, you absolutely should be participating in career fairs. How are these students going to know anything about you, your company, the type of work that's available if you're not going in and talk to them? Many of the recent hires that I talk to as part of panel discussions or here within IBM mentioned that they end up taking a position because somebody talked to them about a career opportunity. The best way to do it is at the school at a career fair. So get out there and start participating. Another option that I can't stress strongly enough is offer internship programs. This is a fabulous way to understand the type of person. Do they fit for your company? It's great for the student because they also get to see if your company is a good fit for them. It's a win-win-win all the way around. If you're not doing it, look into starting an internship program because they absolutely feed your pipeline of talent that you'd want to hire. Another option that we'll talk about again in more detail later are apprenticeship programs where you could take people who are new collar workers, maybe they're mothers who are looking to get back into careers, maybe they're veterans who are looking to switch, maybe they are people who just didn't have the means to go to college but are looking for great career opportunities. They all have a great opportunity to learn about the mainframe. As long as they have a passion and a willingness to learn, they're able to do the work. So that's another option to think about. What's key when you're going out and you're looking for these people is how are you doing it? If you're putting out job requirements, a job posting that is filled with jargon and acronyms, you are going to eliminate such a great pool of talent that is out there. I just recently did a Facebook Live panel session where I had folks from Aetna, from IBM, from Rocket. Not a single one of those panelists had any prior mainframe experience, and yet they were all doing fabulously in their current careers. So broaden the aperture when you're going out there and looking for people. Talk about the types of job characteristics that you're looking for in a person. So I want somebody who is a problem solver, critical thinking, team player. Of course, I also want somebody who is detailed-oriented, communication skills. Sure, you could put specific computer techniques, computer technology, computer experience that you want as part of that job resume, but don't fill it up with acronyms and jargon like I'm specifically looking for somebody with DB2, specifically looking for somebody with JCL, specifically looking for somebody with pick your favorite acronym, because you are eliminating a fabulous pool of people and recent hires who could take the job. So when you're also doing the job, stress the impact that the job is going to have. People coming out of college want to know that they're going to go into a job where the work means something. Where else could they work where the impact of their job is needed 24/7 by 365? That truly is the value of the mainframe. These systems were meant to stay up. They are very critical. When you stress that to somebody coming out of college, it really has an impression on them. So stress the type of work and the value that it has to your company and to all of your clients. That will bring them in. When you're going and you're looking for people, there is no greater resource than some of your other recent hires that you have within the company. Within IBM, we try to send our recent hires out to recruit, send them back out to their alma maters. They know the curriculum, they know the professors, they know the type of person that would be a good fit for the work that they're doing in the mainframe environment. We have one student, well, he was a student, now he's an IBMer, who goes out to his school, and just by him alone going out and recruiting, he has brought in 26 IBMers into the company. He's been here less than 3 years. They truly do a fantastic job of bringing in that new hire. So send them back out to recruit. I can't stress enough, be positive. You are the first person in many instances who is going to talk to them about a mainframe. Don't go in and talk to them about how you may have heard about this system called a mainframe. You may have heard that it's dying. You may have heard that it's old fashioned. Stop. Do not do that. Be positive. Focus on the strengths on the system, which there are many. You are running your environment on a mainframe platform because of its reliability, its availability, its scalability, the security that it provides. Stress that when you're talking to these students. You have got to be positive. If you're going to sit there and say, oh, yeah, well, this isn't strategic, this isn't the platform, am I, as a student, going to want to take that type of position? Absolutely not. And yet, this is what is continuously being stated by clients when they're going in and talking to students. So if I could leave any bit of advice with you today, it's shift perception. Shift the way that you're talking about the mainframe system. Go out and be positive. We're here to help. We have many resources that we could offer. We have a list of all of our academic initiative schools that are participating across the world. This isn't just a program that is in North America. We are worldwide. If there are schools that you want to start working with that aren't listed in our list, we are happy to work with you. But let me mention, the way that we will get a school to agree to participate in our program is if their students are getting jobs. They're getting internships, they're getting full-time positions. If you're just going to offer 1 or 2 positions a year, that's not going to be enough for us to encourage a school to start up an entire program. We will absolutely work with you to find other clients in the area, surrounding areas, so that we could get a roundtable discussion together. And then we have, between all of the clients, 8, 10, 12 students that we could be placing every year to sustain the program. We will absolutely do it. But we certainly need the clients stepping up to say they will hire the students in order to get a school interested in even considering doing a mainframe program. We also put out onto a website the winners from our Master the Mainframe contest. So people who end up finishing part 2 and part 3 of our Master the Mainframe contest, we publish their information out onto a website. We also have a jobs board that's at no cost. We encourage students to post their resumes out on the job board, and we also allow clients to post at no cost their job requirements out onto the website, making it a matching service for clients and students for mainframe positions. There's this really great tool that was recently created called the Talent Match tool. This is a tool that searches for open mainframe digital badges. I will go into deeper detail on digital badges and a few charts, but this tool allows clients to search for those students who have earned digital badges. One other way that we can help you when you're posting your job or advertising, let us know. We have university ambassadors. They could be IBMers. You, if you're a client, if you want to be an ambassador to a school that's local in your area, it's really being that focal point for a program that is teaching mainframe computing. If they have any questions, they can reach out to you. Well, we could give those job offerings, job requirements that you have to our university ambassadors so they can reach back into the schools and tell the faculty to let their students know that there are these opportunities available and encourage your students to apply. So these are several of the ways that we could help you when you're looking for talent. If you go out and you start participating in these career fairs, guest lecturing, events, you are going to find some terrific talent that's out here. These are just some of the articles that have been written by recent hires new to the mainframe. I'll just go through some of them. The first one on the top, From Military to Mainframe, is a fantastic story because it's about Tori McLaughlin, who ended up in the military. She was a single unwed mother. She went back to college at Robert Morris University, and she was taking some computer classes when one of the professors said, maybe you should consider going into mainframe computing with some of those classes. So she did. She started by taking a COBOL class, which the first time she took it, she found a little bit difficult. But she had that tenacious attitude that you absolutely are looking for as a client in a student. So she's like, I'm not going to let this class get me down. She ended up taking again, excelled in that class, took more classes. Well, she ended up getting a job and is doing so well and loving it in enterprise computing. The next one down I will talk about because it's Kyle Bousselet, who is also an IBM champion. An IBM champion is somebody who goes out and advocates about the strengths of the platform, everything that's going on, blogging, and that's what Kyle does. He's only been with Rocket less than 5 years, but he blogs almost quarterly on how do you communicate with a millennial? How can you work with them? How can you find them in the industry? So he goes out and he blogs about this. I encourage you to go out and take a look at some of them. Holden O'Neill is from SAS. He is also now an executive on our share board and wrote his article about the millennials. And the other piece, well, I'll go down the list. Luisa Martinez, she actually is an IBMer who is our focal point for Gen Z at the share conferences. And again, she wrote an article that you can see there that you should go out and take a look at. Finally is Ari Kenny. What I love about Ari, I keep mentioning our Master the Mainframe contest. Ari was a winner of that contest. Now, that contest is open to high schoolers as well as to college students. It's offered all around the world. This year alone, we had over 17,000 people participate in the Master the Mainframe contest. Well, the year that Ari won it, he wasn't a college student. He was actually a high school student. So here you had a high school student who beat out every other student across the world in our Master the Mainframe contest. So that is a fantastic story about Ari. He is now at UC Berkeley, where he is studying computer science and has also done mainframe internships. So I encourage you to take a look. Our New Faces of Z videos, we highlight new people who are coming into mainframe careers to get their experiences. So you're not just hearing from people like me who have been in the industry for a while, you're actually hearing from those young voices who are early tenure talking about why they chose careers in enterprise computing. I mentioned at the beginning that I recently did the Facebook Live session with a recent hire panel. So you could see some of the panelists there that participated, and there is also a link for you to go out and access that panel session. It was all of those questions that you as a client is dying. Why did you decide to take this enterprise computing career? What type of training did you have? What do you tell folks that you're doing? All of those questions are answered in that panel discussion. Go out and take a listen. If you go, you will find people. It's amazing because we even have kids now who are purchasing their own mainframes. Like, how crazy is that? You probably have heard about Connor Krukowski. He's probably the most well-known of all of the three that are here who purchased his mainframe. He ended up having to get a backhoe that they had to dig out some ground to get it into the basement of his parents' house. And he talks about his experience of getting his mainframe up and running. You may not have heard about the other two. Sebastian Wind, who also is a Master of the Mainframe winner. He was the European winner for 2017. Sebastian also acquired his own mainframe that he got up and running. And what I love about Sebastian's story is that he actually did his Master the Mainframe final project on his own system. Like, how cool is that? Wonderful story. Go and take a look at it for Sebastian. And the last one there is Jim Stefanik. We ended up finding out his story through Twitter. It was sent through us just as he was posting about putting the mainframe again into his garage and getting it up and running. He did work with Connor, going back and forth on tips and advice on how to get his system running. So both Jim and Connor are now working for IBM. Sebastian is still a student working on his graduate work. Once you find all this great talent, you're going to have to work and figure out how you're going to train them. So some considerations to think about. Do I want to go into open digital badges? Do I want to put them into certification programs? Do I want to look into apprenticeship programs? How do I get system access? And of course, cost is always a consideration as well. So let's go into some of these. First, the open badges. Open badges are becoming much more prevalent in the industry. What I personally like about a digital badge is that when I put it onto my LinkedIn profile or any other social media profile, you as an employer could go and link on that digital badge to find out what was the work that I did in order to achieve that badge. It's an excellent resource versus if I end up getting a degree or other type of certification, I can certainly post it, and I would post it on my resume, on my social media. You as a client really can't validate it in the same way that you could one of the badges. So that's a really nice feature, and one of the reasons why it is taking on more speed and momentum in the industry. And you can see there are different levels of badges. The other thing to take note of is that in order to achieve a badge, you have to complete some sort of an assessment. So badges just aren't handed out freely. You do have to pass some sort of an assessment in order to achieve them. I talked at an earlier chart about the talent search tool. This goes into a little bit more detail. So once you earn those badges, you could go and leverage the talent search tool. This is a great no-cost tool. So this is free for you to go out and use. Access the tool, and you could get very specific in your search. So show me all the people in the Dallas area who have earned mainframe badges. I will end up getting a list of people. Now, the nice part, when I earn a badge, I can say whether or not I want people to be able to access that information and reach out to me with it. So if I say, sure, I'd like people to reach out to me, you as an employer would again be able to send a private message to start a conversation and say, hey, I see that you have Master the Mainframe credentials, that you completed part 2 and or part 3 of the contest. We happen to have an opening. Would you be interested? And start the dialogue. A great resource for you to leverage. Let's talk about some of the training options, and I'm breaking them down into first, which is everybody's favorite, things that are free, no cost. What can I leverage that won't cost me money off the bat? Different categories. We actually offer some instructor-led courses and events that you could use. First and foremost, let's talk about our ZOS Introduction and Workshop. The ZOS Introduction and Workshop is a very intense 5-day program where it's hands-on activities. You're learning about things such as ZOS, JCL, Unix System Services, RACF, so many different topics throughout this time period. It's taught by Paul Newton, who actually writes all the content for our Master the Mainframe contest as well. We try to offer this on a quarterly basis. You could see the next class was coming up or is coming up June 25th through the 29th. You could attend that class in person, which is offered at our Dallas Innovation Center in Texas, or you could say I also have it listed under the remote. The vast majority, probably 98 to 99% of the people, actually attend that class remotely, so you don't have to worry about paying any travel expenses. So his class, extremely popular. And the other piece that I like about it, there are labs associated with it. Because there's so much content provided during those 5 days, you may not necessarily make it through all the materials or all the labs, or perhaps there's some tweaking I'd like to do to the work that I did. No problem. Paul does a great job with leaving those labs open for 2, maybe 3 weeks after the class so that you could still access it and play around and try the skills out that you learned. Great offering. As I said, both remote as well as in person. And the little icon next to it is a badge symbol indicating that if I complete his class and take the assessment, I can earn a digital badge for taking that class for both remote or in person. We also offer a ZOS customer internship program. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a link here, but what we started doing is offering clients to come to the Poughkeepsie site in Poughkeepsie, New York, and we do sessions for 3 to 5 days talking with the subject matter experts on various topics, such as, again, security, performance. Sometimes we'll cover parallel sysplex. Those topics are available. The course itself is free. The cost of the travel is not. So a great opportunity. This would not be for somebody who's brand new to ZOS. We would want somebody with a basic understanding. So this is more geared to somebody with 2 to 3 years of experience. If you happen to be an IMS customer, once a year, sometimes twice, we offer a customer internship program. For 2 weeks, we have clients go to the Santa Teresa lab and again meet with the subject matter experts where they're going through training and materials. Again, I would not expect anybody who's a brand new hire to go to this. I would send them if they had a couple of years of experience and wanted to get to that next level of detail regarding IMS. I want to point out under the remote section the Mainframe MOOC, which stands for Massive Open Online Course. This is brand new. We have never offered it here in the United States. It's going to be a 6-week course, meeting 3 to 4 to 5 hours every single week, starting November 5th through December 17th. These sessions will be recorded, so if you happen to miss a session, you would be able to go back and listen to the recording. Last year, this course was offered over in Germany, and it was taught in German, and they had almost 4,000 people participate in the MOOC. We already have over 1,000 people signed up for the MOOC this year, coming up in November, so take advantage of it and register for the MOOC. Those are the instructor-led courses. Now, if you want to do things on your own, here's some options for you. Our Master the Mainframe contest is geared towards students. In fact, you have to be a student in order to participate in the contest. There are 3 levels. They progress in difficulty as you move up into the 3 phases. And as I mentioned, when you complete Part 2 and Part 3, you also earn badges for it. It's a great system and a great way for teaching new to Z. You don't need any background whatsoever in order to take the Master the Mainframe or participate in the contest. So it's a wonderful system. That same contest is offered as a learning system for anybody who wants to use it. Even within IBM, when we bring in our recent hires, we will have them sit down and take the Master the Mainframe as learning system to help build their skills. For you as a client, I would do the same thing. As I'm bringing in somebody new, have them sit down and finish up the contest. Great resource and a great tool. Another resource that is available is a mainframe playground. So this isn't even created by IBM. So there's a person and he gets input from others who created this fantastic link with resources. It was just recently updated to add more assignments. Every time I turn around, even more assignments and more exercises and more pages are added to it. Currently, you can see there are 463 exercises, 83 assignments. They even mentioned in the email that got sent out regarding the updates that it has probably the most content for teaching COBOL than anything that's currently out there on the internet. So go out and leverage the mainframe playground. Let's move over to some of the self-paced courses that are available. We have some e-learning options. That means that they're available 24/7 by 365. Take them at your leisure. Start it. You could stop, go back to where you were. Take them as self-paced learning. Now, one of the new things that's offered, I talked about Paul Newton and his EOS Introduction and Workshop, that 5-day class. Well, we don't want people just waiting every quarter for that class to come around. So what we ended up doing, we created videos of Paul's class. They were cut into smaller chunks and segments, typically around 8 to 10 minutes. So you could go out to the website and watch each part of his class in these videos. Access them at no cost, whenever, wherever you want. That was literally just added within the month. So great new asset. There are also some e-learning courses that are available through IBM for Z System fundamentals as well as the value and differentiation of Z. If you happen to be a Kick shop, last year they created a whole new video course series around CICS. Leverage those. If you're into blockchain, there are some new introductory blockchain courses where, again, you could earn a badge. There are even some more fantastic no-cost options. That's around resources. We create Z for Dummies books. You can see here all the different categories. Every time I turn around, there seems to be new books, which is fantastic, around the Dummy series. So go out for Z systems, whether it's blockchain, Spark, mobile development, all of those are available. Just go out and download them. There are many webinars for Systems Magazine that you could go out and watch at your leisure, and so many resources as part of our YouTube channel that we have for Z. There's also IBM DocBuddy, which helps for error messages and such. If you are an assembler shop and you're looking for assembler materials, there is a 1,500-page document that I will be putting out on a website. If you have interest in assembler, please reach out to me at my email address that is on the front of these charts. In regards to code patterns, there are step-by-step instructions. There's Get repros, there's cloud resources, blogs, videos. You can see them all listed here. Feel free to go and leverage them as well. One thing I would strongly encourage you to do, send young people out to these conferences, please. There's no more valuable way of learning than meeting people and talking face to face. You could read about something in a book, but when you're actually there talking to the subject matter expert face to face, you learn so much more. And at our conferences, we're offering so many more hands-on labs and courses as part of the conference. It becomes a fantastic learning experience. In some instances, we even offer discounts to get early tenure folks to attend. So send them out there at Share. We have the Z Next Gen Network at our IBM Tech U. We have a recent hire network. We're building that network and sense of community is invaluable. Go out and send them, please. Now, for students as well as interns, this is not for clients. However, as a client, where you could leverage this is if you bring in an intern. This is only for students. We developed an offering, a Z Enterprise Computing Kickstart offering, which has over 44 hours of e-learning that's available, teaching you about COS, teaching you about COBOL, teaching you about DB2, teaching you about, say, JCL, as well as some DevOps, all available at no cost for students only. So again, if you are a client and you're bringing in an intern, they could leverage it because you need a student ID. If I were to bring an intern in, this would probably be the first thing I do as part of their intro training, sit you down for a week, complete the 44 hours, earn your badge that you could put onto your social media page, and build your eminence on this. So great offering for students. Now for a fee, we of course have many options as well. We have our IBM Z Skills Gateway, which is really our training website. We have Z Learning Journeys. You could see all of the different tracks that are part of those learning journeys that list the specific classes that you need to take. IBM now works with 5 global training providers. They are LearnQuest, Global Knowledge, Arrow, Ingram Micro, Avnet. As part of that, Interskill Learning, who works with Arrow to offer training, provides so many badges for all of their mainframe classes. They probably are, in my opinion, the premier e-learning provider of mainframe courses. Go out and take a look. LearnQuest also offers badges for their mainframe classes. That link will take you to them. I mentioned earlier sending your recent hires to these conferences. I love the fact that this year at our IBM Tech U events, they offered a whole brand new track, a new ZOS Fast Track for people new to the mainframe, where they get the intro classes, they get the hands-on labs, and they're going through that training. They also, because they're all new going through it, are building that network. They did it first in Orlando. It was a big success. It was also a huge success in London. The next one will be coming up in Hollywood, Florida, coming in October. You can see it the 8th through the 12th. Now, the nice thing about IBM Tech U with the ZOS Fast Track is that as soon as you register for that conference, you also get access to some of Interskill's mainframe courses. So if I sign up for that Hollywood conference, let's say I sign up as soon as it opens, probably July, I have access to the Interskill training from July up until the conference in October, and then I believe it's for another 3 months afterwards. So you could really get a huge chunk of time where I can have access to some mainframe training through Interskill by sending my recent hires to a Tech U event and registering them, which there's no additional charge to register them as part of the ZOS Fast Track, but you get access to all that additional mainframe training content, and you still earn the badges with it. So it's a fantastic deal. Do it. We also, of course, have additional conferences. The Think one for next year will be coming up in San Francisco. Share coming up in St. Louis in August. We are starting to incorporate into our conferences more and more schools and universities. This is fantastic because we really want to start connecting better the schools and their students with the clients who are looking for students and putting them in the same place at the same time. So we did this at the last Share in Sacramento, and we will be doing this again in St. Louis. And the other really cool thing is that Share is also adding a track, which they did have a Z Next Gen track, but they're going to be extending this University Day for the students. So I'm really excited. You can watch the students. They'll be participating in the Master the Mainframe contest when they get there. So you could see them competing on the contest on the mainframe. And please stop in, introduce yourself, talk to them. I'm always looking for managers, if you are hiring, to come and talk to them about careers in enterprise computing or even participate on a management session. That was my plug for my own session at Share. So some other things to consider: VM Workshop as well as the iDoug. Were you aware that we even offer some professional mainframe exams? And it's not offered through IBM. It was actually through a guide Share Europe. When I was there, they were talking about their training and their professional exams that they offer. There is one free test that is open to anybody, the Mainframe Foundation Test. I believe it's between 10 and 20 questions that you could go test your own mainframe knowledge, see how you fare. But if you wanted to give it to somebody as one of your recent hires to see how they were progressing at the end of their training, you could also leverage it. And you could see all of the other exams that are out there as well. In addition to that training, we do have some certificate and degree programs. Marist College, for instance, has their Institute for Data Center Professionals. They have specific tracks around ZOS. They have a systems programming track, they have an application programming track, and for each of these, they have various levels. For the system programming, the associate, the professional, the expert. Under the application program, if you want COBOL, if you want DB2, IMS, assembler, you see them listed there, and you could go out and register. I have to say, I do hear from many clients who, when they bring in their recent hires, they do send them to these classes through Marist because the remote instructor-led learning. So during the day, I'm doing my regular job. At the night time, I'm going and I'm taking these classes to build my expertise around COS. So I have to say I do hear from many clients who do leverage that program, those programs. Robert Morris University has enterprise system degree programs that are available. You could see them there. William Patterson University is one of our newer certificate programs that is being offered where you could get an associate certificate. And Framingham State University is also offering an enterprise computing certificate. I'm now going to talk about mainframe apprenticeship programs, which is becoming much more popular and I am hearing much more about it. So an apprenticeship program, sure you're all familiar with what an apprenticeship program is about. This is similar with mainframers. So this is taking somebody in the industry who doesn't have any prior knowledge or experience. They're typically aren't a college student. So this would be considered a new collar worker. And you're giving them a combination of on-the-job training with some more professional skills training to build up the expertise to complete the job. Now, the nice thing with when you're participating in an apprenticeship job is that you're earning money in a very entry-level position while you're also getting the hands-on experience as part of it. In the U.S., we are looking at a registered mainframe apprenticeship program. In fact, for IBM, we have started our own apprenticeship program. The apprentices are currently going through their training, where the first part is getting those foundational skills, where they have to get introduced to the mainframe, doing some instructor-led courses and programming, where we're getting them involved in Master the Mainframe, and they will earn badges as part of that. At the second part, they're going to get a much deeper learning and foundational experience on the system, and again, earning those badges. In the U.S. program, the apprentices will not be earning a formal college degree as a part of the program, they will be earning certifications and hands-on experience as they progress through the job training. Now, another excellent example of an apprenticeship program that is a little bit different is offered in the UK. I was recently over there as part of our Tech U in London and had the good fortune of meeting with many of the Berkeley apprentices. Berkeley started an apprenticeship program in the fall of 2017. They're finishing their first year now. Many of the apprentices, well, all of the apprentices, again, didn't have any mainframe background. They didn't have college background. I love the fact one of the apprentices was a ski instructor and decided that he was going to go and try and get a position with Barclays. Another girl, Harriet, she was in fashion. She was a marketing person in the fashion industry, and she decided that she was going to switch. She's a part of the program. They had 20 people registered for their initial apprenticeship program. I think only one, at the most two, have left the program. And what is a great asset of their mainframe apprenticeship program is that they are actually earning college degrees as part of it. So they are working with the university over in the UK. They spend part of their time hands-on at the job. They spend part of their time at the university and progressing through. And after the 4 years, they end up getting their degree that you could see here. So what a fantastic opportunity. I'm getting paid to learn a position, I'm getting experience, and I'm earning college certification or a degree as part of this program. I love it, and the students were all doing such a great job. I had them participate on my panel. They were all enthusiastic about the work that they were doing and thoroughly enjoyed it. They were wonderful to talk to. I'm really excited about this program that is currently taking place in Cincinnati. So in the Cincinnati area, like many areas, they saw that there was a need for mainframe positions. So working with Prisculus, which is a not-for-profit in the Cincinnati area, they said, well, let's build a training program for the underserved of the community. Now, we know there's a need from clients for mainframe positions. Let's get them trained into these programs. So we worked with Prisculus IBM. We also had Russell Tobin, who did a wonderful job. They were actually a placement agency who was getting all these requests for, hey, I'm getting all these requests from companies who need mainframe help. Let me go with this nice not-for-profit who's helping the community, who see we could build a program. And they said, oh, well, let's reach out to IBM and get them involved. So all of us were working together and all the clients to say, hey, these are the types of skills we would want for people in the community. And then we could hire them into these positions where we're looking for help. This program is currently underway. It's over 125 hours of instructor-led training or technical instruction with 30 hours of also going over soft skills. So how do you interview? How do you dress? How do you prepare for work? All of those things are also covered. And this is at no cost to the students. I love this program, and I would love to see it being offered in more areas. So as our pilot goes, we will certainly be trying to put it in other areas of the country as well. You could see the classes that are offered. So the first week, they were going over the introductions, making sure that they did mentoring to pair people up and that they could ask questions to. And they went over some e-learning courses that they had. Weeks 2 and 3, they're going into the Master the Mainframe as part of the learning system. Parts 1 and 2, they already received their badges for completing Part 2. Next, they'll be going into the ZOS Intro and Workshop, which is that Paul Newton class, getting that very intensive hands-on experience of being on the mainframe. And the final week is they'll be going and exploring the mainframe playground that I talked about. They'll be doing some mock interviews to get them all set for going out and talking to you clients for possible job opportunities. So look for them in the Talent Match tool because they will have all of these badges next to their name. So look for them, offer them job opportunities, and they will be going through a graduation ceremony on June 22nd. I'm very excited for this program. That's the final chart I'm going to discuss regarding training. Let's talk about getting system access. If you want a Linux environment, you can go out for 120 days at no cost and get access to a Linux system. You see this configuration that's available, and you could go out and play around in that environment. For ZOS, depending on the particular pieces that you would like to explore, we do have options and environments available. You can see some of the DB2, IMS, parts for analytics. These are available at no cost, along with some tutorials to help you through them. These are already pre-tested, pre-configured systems that you could go out and leverage. Now that you've found these students, you recruit them in, you spend all this time training them, you now need to retain them. So what are some of the key things to keep in mind when you have this new talent in your organization? All of these are so critical, but absolutely assign a mentor. Many of the people in your organization have been in their positions for 10, 20, 30, probably you have some who have been there for 40 years. They have such a depth of knowledge, and they have to transfer that knowledge to somebody. Assign them a mentor, but make sure it's a positive mentor. Don't assign them a mentor who doesn't enjoy talking to anybody and isn't going to be accessible. That would not be a good mentor. Assign a positive mentor to the employee so that they can feel comfortable going and talking about whatever topic. And actually, when it comes to mentoring, they can have many mentors. I would encourage several different mentors. You want a technical mentor who's going to answer their technical questions. You're going to want a career mentor to talk about possibilities and opportunities within your organization. You probably want even a peer as a mentor that they could go to, somewhere around their own age, so that I don't want to always go to that SME, but I do have questions. Who can I go to? Assign mentors. They're also going to find people on their own that they're going to want as their own mentors. So that's also very, very important. I talked about it at the beginning. I'm going to talk about it again. Make sure you provide a positive environment. In addition to making it positive, provide a creative environment. Because if they're going in and they're doing the same exact thing day after day after day, without exploring any of their creative ideas, they are not going to be happy and they are not going to be able to stay. So at IBM, we actually implemented this thing called Radical Recess, where they could get together as part of their normal workday and discuss projects or activities that are totally unrelated to their day-to-day job. If I want to go and explore, we have people doing 3D printing, they could talk about it. It gives them an opportunity to do more and have more of an impact in an area that excites them. A perfect example. As part of the Radical Recess, we had one group who, of course, you know, young people, we're all becoming this way, where everything is on their mobile device. So they said, why can't I access the mainframe, check the system status on my mobile device? Doesn't make sense. So, as a group, it totally wasn't assigned to them. They said, let's go off and research that. So they did. They ended up looking into creating an app that they would be able to then access the mainframe onto it. Well, they ended up producing it, and as a result, it is now incorporated into the ZOS product, and they received patents as a result of it. So what an excellent story that They got to explore their creativity. They got a patent. They demonstrated leadership and innovativeness. Wonderful. Create a positive and creative environment for these young people coming in. Again, I mentioned at the beginning, send them out to recruit. There's going to be no one better to go and talk about the type of work that they're going to be doing, the training that was required. They're going to have the passion and the enthusiasm. They'll be able to talk at that level for students because they're going to know some of them. They're going to know the curriculum. Send them back out to recruit. They are going to be your best ambassador. Another item that I strongly, strongly recommend, hire in pairs, at least. Every recent hire or a young person that I talk to certainly does not have any issue or problem with working with somebody who is a seasoned veteran in the organization. They welcome it because they appreciate all of the knowledge. However, they also need a social network. They need peers that they could talk to and socialize with. And more importantly, even go through training together. So if it's just somebody who's brand new and everybody else in the organization has 10, 20, 30 years experience, they're going to feel so intimidated by the amount of experience and knowledge. If they have a cohort that they come into the company with, it just makes life so much easier. So please, if you can, hire in pairs at a minimum. It's even better if you could hire multiple and they all go through, and the bonding experience that it creates and the networking is very, very valuable. Offer leadership opportunities. Now, I know this may sound odd because they're new. How am I going to give them leadership opportunities? But as I mentioned, they will come up with ideas for, why aren't you using this tool? We learned about this cool tool at IBM. It was Slack. Why aren't we using that instead of using Same Time? So they took that as a mission and they drove it. So now we have incorporated Slack as an example into our tooling. That's a leadership opportunity. If they see something as a new tool or an innovative way to do something, go ahead, give them the reins, and let them lead it. They will be so happy that you give them those opportunities. I stress this throughout this presentation. I will stress it here again. Get them out to these conferences. Get them networking. Get them meeting other people of their same age group so that they can build that same sense of community that you have. One thing I always say, there truly is no stronger community than a mainframe community. When you go to these conferences, everybody seems to know each other. There's this camaraderie. There's this willingness to help, answer questions. It is really a wonderful environment to work in. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been here for 20, 30, 40 years. You enjoyed it. You enjoyed the people. You enjoyed the work. Allow the new people coming in to experience the same thing. Allow them to build their network and start building that group of people that they could talk to across companies within IBM. Knowing who to contact with a question saves so much time. Let them attend those conferences. And with all the additional training that is being offered, there really isn't a reason why you wouldn't. We also offer Gen Z events. These are free, no-cost events where IBM will come into your organization if you have a bunch of recent hires, and we do a fun interactive day. We'll do design thinking. We make sure that it's not about PowerPoint presentations because we don't want to bore them to death. So maybe we cover one topic where we'll go over some PowerPoint charts. The rest of it is really interactive design thinking workshop around the mainframe and getting them talking to each other to, again, build that sense of community. We like bringing in other companies, other IBMers to build the community again. At the end of the day, probably the most fun part of the day, we take them out, whether it's for pizza or bowling or bar and drinks, appetizers, and again, do some networking. We want them getting to know each other, and realizing that they are not the only young people who are working on the platform. There are many of them. One final thing to talk about is our advocacy hub. Anybody could join. Go out and get rewarded with our leaderboard on activities, whether you're going into schools, you're guest lecturing, you're writing a blog. All of those get you fun points on our leaderboard. So join the advocacy hub. This chart gives you more details about our Gen Z community on the day. There's a web page so that you could go out and investigate more details on it. I talked about our advocacy hub. This is also on our advocacy hub. Go out and join. You can see the leaderboard on the right-hand side. You get points as you go and do activities. You could read an article. You end up blogging. Go and learn something about, let's say, blockchain or one of our latest technologies, and you earn these points on our leaderboard. Give back to the community and share all of your experiences that you have. A final chart that I'm going to talk about is being a champion. IBM has had an IBM Champion program for several years. This last year was the first time that we recognized our Z champions. Now, a champion is not an IBMer. You have to be a client, a business partner, faculty, student, anybody who is not an IBMer is eligible to become an IBM champion. A champion is somebody who's going out and advocating into the community about all of what you're doing on the platform, however, helping to evangelize or promote the messaging around the mainframe, being a thought leader in the area. Now, the benefits to you, why would I want to become an IBM champion? Well, as an IBM champion, we will also help amplify your voice. We will provide major discounts to our Think conference as well as other IBM conferences. We will provide you with information, early information to some of our products. So you will be under an NDA, so you would be able to get pre-GA information. You're part of the community. You get special access to events. For example, at our Think conference, when there were concerts that were being held with the Chainsmokers, the other one was Train, they had VIP seats. They were right down in front for those concerts. When at the keynote address, they had VIP seating at that event. When we announced our Z Champions at Share, they had special drinks made for them. They had a special area. They were recognized. They get announced at the events. They were given a budget that they get for paraphernalia, something like a couple $100 for going out and getting, whether you want backpacks or shirts, whatever. So there are perks to becoming a champion. You also get to put a little champion logo onto your signature. So it really signifies to others that, hey, look at, they're an IBM champion. There is information on the champion program at this link. The other neat thing about champions, you have to earn it every single year. So just because you were a champion last year does not guarantee that you were a champion this year. It's active acts of advocacy in order to become a champion and to sustain being a champion. So go out and take a look at it. The next round will probably be opening up our championship nominations, I would think in the August time frame, maybe late July, August time frame. So keep a look on the champion website, and that will be announced. Much, if not all, of the information that I talked about today is also available on our IBM Z Skills website. We have it separated into 3 different sections: learn, teach, and employ. So if you're a faculty member and you want to know, if you are a faculty member and you want to know how to go about teaching it, we have a user guide for faculty. How do I start it? How do I get access to systems? All that information is covered under Teach. If I just want to learn more about the mainframe, there's this whole section on how do I access learning. And of course, you as clients also would be interested in the employee section, there is an employer training manual, a resource guide with over 100 links to all sorts of resources on helping you to find, attract, train, retain young folks out there as well, along with posting your jobs. It really is your one-stop shop around skills. So with that, the final chart is listing everybody else on our skills team. My manager, Meredith Stoll, is available for any additional questions. She is the director of all the ecosystems for Z Systems. I am up on the right, Christy Schroeder. I work with all of the clients, as I mentioned, helping them to find all that talent. I work with Misty Decker. Her role is to work with all the schools and universities in all of North America, making sure they have the resources they need to teach those students. And then we are worldwide. So we have Klaus Rusch, who is our program manager over in Europe. He's based out of Germany. Ludmila, who is for Latin America. She's based out of Brazil. And Tina, who is our China representative. In addition, on the team, I've mentioned several times Paul Newton, who is a fabulous instructor and gets rave reviews for our ZOS Intro workshop, as well as doing a phenomenal job with creating Master the Mainframe, which does get refreshed every single year. So wonderful job by Paul. And Troy Crutcher, who is really the person behind everything that happens with Master the Mainframe. So he is our focal point and expert regarding the contest. And that is our team. With that, I'm going to conclude the presentation. And if you have any additional questions, please reach out to me on my email that was provided. Thank you and have a great day.